Hello dear students, welcome back to my class. We are doing the chapter 2, the regional kingdoms from history. In previous class we have discussed about the rise of new kings and kingdoms, especially Palas, Gurjara Pratihara and Rashtrakuta dynasty. In today's video we are going to discuss about the tripartite struggle over the possession of Kannauj, origin and growth of Rajputs and South Peninsular India, and last but not the least, the raids of Mahmud Ghazani. Kannauj was the epicenter of all political developments in North India during the long reign of King Harshavardhana. Means Kannauj was considered the symbol of power and sovereignty of North India, a position which Delhi was to acquire later. So sovereignty means supreme authority or highest position. Okay, so its location near river Ganga helped to foster trade and agriculture in this region. तो अगर गंगा आपके बिसाइड ही हो तो ऑब्वियसली जो लोकेलिटी है वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा फर्टाइल हो जाएगा एंड इट्स वेरी गुड फॉर एग्रीकल्चर. सो इवन आफ्टर किंग हर्षवर्धना's death, Kannauj continued to remain important for different ruling dynasties and its possessions was considered to be immensely beneficial. The Palas, Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas competed for control over Kannauj. This struggle is known in history as the tripartite struggle. This struggle weakened all the three dynasties. This fight, which was essentially aimed at securing the supreme position in the political scene of North and Central India. ओके तो ये जो कनौज है इसके ऊपर कंट्रोल पाने के लिए जो फाइट हुआ था, जो स्ट्रगल हुआ था, इसको हम बोल सकते हैं ट्राइपर्टाइट स्ट्रगल. और किसके बीच हुआ था? द पालास, प्रतिहरास एंड राष्ट्रकूटास. Our next topic is the origin and growth of the Rajput. The tripartite struggle gave rise to a number of kingdoms throughout North and Central India. Many of these were ruled by some warlike clans. Clans means group or tribe of mysterious origin, while some Rajput clans claimed descent from sun. तो origin उनका वो claim करते थे कि sun से वो लोग आए हैं. Some others traced their origin to the lunar family of the ancient Pandavas. Collectively, all of them were called Rajput. So Rajput was the another group which played an important role in history of medieval India. The Rajputs established kingdoms in different parts of northern India. The most important of these were the Parmaras of Malwa, Chauhans of Ajmer, Gandwalas of Kannauj, Chalukyas of Gujarat, and the Tomars of Delhi. Most historians believe that the Rajput descended from the Sakhas, Kushanas, Huns, Gujaras, and the Gondas. These Rajput kingdoms frequently fought among themselves and seldom joined hands together. So what were the characteristics of Rajput dynasty? So there was a brotherhood and equality among the clans members of Rajput. At the same time, they were busy in fighting with the members of other clans. Most of the Rajput rulers were supporters of Hinduism. ओके और बहुत सारे जो थे वो पैट्रोनाइज्ड करते थे जैनिज्म को भी. द राजपूत वर कंसिडर्ड टू बी द क्षत्रिय. They were divided into two vanshams. एक तो है चंद्रवंशी and another one Suryavanshi, belonging to the Moon's family and Sun's family. The Rajput rulers also gave rich donation and land grants to the temples and Brahmanas. Already we discussed in previous class about this. The Tomars established the city of Dhilika, today's Delhi. Okay, and meanwhile other clans also began establishing new kingdoms. Peninsular India, Pallabas of Kanchi. The Pallava dynasty ruled parts of modern Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The Pallavas had their capital at Kanchi, जो recent उसका नाम है कांचीपुरम. They had trade relationship with Southeast Asia and China. The Pallavas rule declined by the end of 9th century. तो इसका cause क्या था? Their frequent wars with the Chalukyas and other neighboring powers weakened them. Okay. Next one, administration in the kingdoms. So the king was the head of the government and the administration also. He was also known as the commander in chief. of the armed forces. He was an absolute ruler who took high sounding titles like Maharaja Dhiraja, Kings of Kings, Tribhuwana Chakravartin, जिसका मीनिंग है लॉर्ड ऑफ थ्री वर्ल्ड्स. Okay, they were often consulted with their advice was accepted by the ruler. ओके, दिस ऑफिशियल वर्ड सामंथास. बहुत सारे ऑफिशियल थे. इसका क्या क्या था? सामंथास थे, रेवेन्यू मिनिस्टर थे, सेनापति थे, ट्रेजर, चीफ जस्टिस एंड पुरोहिता. ओके, दिस फंक्शनरीज वर रिक्रूटेड फ्रॉम द इन्फ्लुएंशियल फैमिलीज एंड द ऑफिसेस वर ऑफन हेरिडिटरी. ये सामंथास कौन थे? सामंथास वर डिफीटेड रूलर्स. देयर टेरिटरीज वर रिटर्न टू देम आफ्टर दे एक्सेप्टेड द ऑथोरिटी ऑफ द रूलर. The Samanta paid tribute and supplied a contingent of troops. Okay, tribute means जो gift करना. ठीक है. Whenever needed, they attended royal court with gifts and peasants. Very often, not present, sorry, it is present. Very often the Samantas were not loyal and always ready to declare their independence. इसका example क्या था? इसका big instance था Rashtrakutas in the Deccan. Who were the subordinates of Chalukyas? The Rashtrakuta chief Danti Durga overthrew the Chalukya ओवरलॉर्डशिप एंड बिकम इंडिपेंडेंट. तो ये जो सबऑर्डिनेट थे चालुक्य के अंडर, तो ये एक टाइम के बाद ये राष्ट्रकूटा जो थे, जो चीफ थे, जो रूलर थे दांती दुर्गा, ये ओवरथ्रू किया था चालुक्य ओवरलॉर्डशिप. ओके, एंड वो एक इंडिपेंडेंट किंग के तरह उभर आए थे. सो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इन किंगडम्स ऑफ पेनिनसुलर इंडिया का फीचर्स क्या था? द किंग हैड टू मेंटेन लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इन द स्टेट एंड लुक आफ्टर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द पीपल. ही हैड टू लीड द आर्मी इन टाइम्स ऑफ द वॉर. द किंग कलेक्टेड रेवेन्यू एंड टैक्सेस फ्रॉम द पीपल. The king gave land to the Brahmanas, government officials, local chiefs and tribal leaders. Instead of cash salaries, the king collected the land revenue and also asked for the contingents of troops during war. Brahmanas did not have to pay taxes for their lands. तो उसको लैंड के लिए कोई टैक्स पे नहीं करना पड़ता था. The land was cultivated by the laborers. They wrote accounts about the kings and performed religious ceremonies. So already we discussed in the previous class na Prasastis was one of the great example of that. They also brought more land under cultivation. The peasants, herderers, okay, artisans had to give a part of their produce to the king. They were claimed as rent. The traders also paid taxes. Village was an important unit of administration, looked after by the village headman. तो जो विलेज का जो कंट्रोल करने वाला था उसका नाम था विलेज हेडमैन. द विलेज हैड वेरियस कमिटीज टू लुक आफ्टर लोकल स्कूल्स, वाटर टैंक्स, टेम्पल्स एंड रोड्स. द विलेज एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कंटिन्यूड ऑन द सेम पैटर्न टिल इंडिपेंडेंस. Our next topic is Ghaznavids. So in the 10th century, a new kingdom emerged in Ghazni, Afghanistan. Its most outstanding ruler was Mahmud Ghazni, who raided and plundered India 17 times between 1000 and 1027 CE. He plundered the rich cities of North India such as Nagarkot, Thaneshwar, Mathura and Kanauj. Two of his infamous attacks were on Kanauj in 1018 AD and the looting of the famous Somnath temple of Gujarat in AD 1025. In the campaign against Kanauj, he plundered Mathura and Kanauj. He could loot and plunder so easily because no strong state existed in North India at that time. Mahmud used this massive wealth that he carried from India to build a magnificent capital city at Ghazni. Al-Biruni, a great scholar who had accompanied Muhammad Ghazni in his attacks on India, has written a book in the Arabic language called Kitab-ul-Hind, which gives us a lot of interesting information about Indian society and culture. So my dear children, that's the end for today's session. We will meet in our next class with new topics. Till then, bye. Take a very good care of yourself and happy learning.